Hi everyone, welcome to our channel Mindful Convo. So for today the topic will be a SBL subject topic, which is agency theory in corporate governance. So agency theory is used to understand the relationship between agents and principal. So if you will see this diagram, the flow is that the shareholders are the principal of the business because they have invested in it, they are the owners of the business. Then they are appointing directors to took the affairs of the business to operate the business. So directors are working daily on that business. So directors have more knowledge of insights of the business. But directors are not the owners, they are accountable to the principal for the task assigned to them. So in this case, agency theory comes into place that directors are not the owners, but still they are working for the shareholders. So agent always represents himself on behalf of his principal and always expect to work in the best interest of principal. So they should always ensure that owners should always ensure that directors are not working in any detriment manner. They are working for the best interest of the shareholders. So directors and shareholders have principal agent relationship. Shareholders are owners of company. Directors are controlling company on behalf of shareholders. So shareholders are the principal here and directors are the agent. So shareholders appoint directors and expect from them to perform the task and manage the company. Now examples could be shareholders and auditors. So in this example, auditors act as agents to principals, who are the shareholders when performing an audit. So auditor and directors of a company has a close relationship. Shareholders may think that auditors will get influenced by directors. So agency theory also involves cost. So the costs which are incurred by principals in monitoring agency behavior, because of which there is lack of trust. So I would say that there could be many examples like directors and shareholders, shareholders and auditors, and many other examples are there. So in the case study you will be providing with any example and you have to identify that how it is related to the agency theory. So as I have discussed that cost is also incurred, so that the agency theory is always put in place that directors never break the trust of shareholders. So in the later part of the video we'll also discuss about that how the cost will be managed, how the directors will be provided with a good remuneration so that the agency principle never breaks. Now agency problems are also occurring in public sector. So private and public companies have the owners, but what about public sector organization? Because there are no anybody like shareholders who are investing into the company. So here someone fund to the organization. So those funders can be taxpayers or patients in a hospital. So in public sector organizations, funders and service users are the same people. So it is very difficult to target the agency problems in public sector because many times both the principal and agents are same. So their objectives can therefore be more complex to develop. So we will apply here the concept of value for money, because there should be a way out to identify that how agency theory will be taken care of in the public sector organization. So generally wherever the public sector organization name comes into the picture, you should apply the value for money model. It is basically designed for this particular aspect, where there are three parameters within this value for money. So first is economy, effectiveness, and efficiency. So economy is delivering the services on time, within budget, and keeping check upon cost of input. And effectiveness, it is to deliver the service for which organization is created. And efficiency is to deliver the service within the best use of resources than an inefficient one. So let's try to understand it in a more better way by the example. So let's say that a school's objective is to produce high number of well-educated students. So this cannot be measured in financial terms. So in such case, value for money framework will help. So in the economy, it refers to cost of input. So teachers are the input here. We might reduce the salaries of teachers. So basically, economy refers to how much we are paying. Then efficiency, it's a ratio of inputs to output. So we might provide group of 400 students to one teacher. So here what is happening, that output is not that much good, because one teacher is handling 400 people of group, which is not a good thing. There will be zero productivity in this. So we should always think that output should not be that much vague. Then in effectiveness, as I have mentioned earlier, that it's a quality of output. So now here we will see that whether our plan is efficient or not. So we will measure it by keeping check upon the exam results, or we can also consult students about the feedback. So there could be many parameters on which effectiveness can be measured. Now if we try to sum up, so the agency problems arises because directors always know more about the company's day-to-day functioning. So how to deal with this problem? So appointing the non-executive directors to monitoring the activities of executive directors. So basically I will share the directors topic video in my next topic. So right now I can just give you brief understanding about the difference between non-executive directors and executive directors. So the shareholders are appointing the directors, in which the diagram is saying that principal is appointing the agent. So here these directors are executive directors. So they perform day-to-day functioning of the business, but non-executive directors are opposite to it. They are part of upper level operations. They decide the policies. They are involved in decision making. So they keep a check upon these directors. So if we appoint non-executive directors, we can easily deal with the problem of agency. Now second is deciding the reasonable remuneration for directors and agents, so that they work in their best interest of the shareholders, because if good remuneration is not paid to them, they won't be feel motivated. So remuneration is also a important part in the agency theory. So this was all about the agency theory in corporate governance, and in case you have any doubts, feel free to contact me and ping me in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe the channel. So thank you, goodbye.